Hi Taurus, welcome to your mid-March horoscope and tarot reading. So Taurus, now that Uranus is in your sign, you guys are feeling it from the get-go. I have seen so many Taurus people that I know come out with this revolutionary spirit, with a cause, with something that is driving them, a belief system, a feeling, a gut instinct. So many Taurians are waking up to something new. We actually saw I saw this in the news. The Queen of England, who has also always been anti-social media. The royal family doesn't use social media. I think they might have an account. I'm not really that aware of it, but I do know that they're very anti-social media. And she did her first ever Instagram post. She wrote and posted her first ever Instagram post. And I was just thinking, Taurus. And then I made this joke on Instagram about Melania Trump breaking free. And then all of a sudden we have these fake Melania things, which is quite funny, but you know, whatever. So Taurus, you guys are having this real fresh energy injected into yourself. Uranus will free you up where you need to be free. And for you, it is in your first house of thought. You, who you are, your identity. So you're having a shake up of your identity, which is brilliant. You know, from the Taurians that I can see, it's incredibly positive. So embrace it. Change up your hair, change up your style, get a new look, go to a new holiday destination. Taurus, you can sometimes become too set in your ways and not branch out enough. Uranus is a great sign for you. I know that it's known as being, I believe, in fall there. Or is it in detriment? Don't quote me, but it is something that can really change up how you view life and importantly how you view yourself. Now, speaking of which, March 20th, Aries energy. For you guys, that's the 12th house. So before we get overexcited about the first, there's still a few things we have to delve into whenever there's all this 12th house energy. Healing, psychology, closure. You might feel a bit more introverted during Aries season because it is a build-up to your season, Taurus. And what a season it's going to be. So use this time to rest, recover, get in tune with how you're really feeling about things. If there's any fears, if there's any restrictions, if there's any devil energy, you know, what's holding you back. But similarly, what emotions are lying beneath the surface that would do you some good to dive into? It's a beautiful time for hypnotherapy, any form of therapy, really digging deep and seeing what is going on with you. Because sometimes we just get caught up in the rat race of life so much that we don't check in. And that's why things like tarot and astrology are so important in terms of figuring out what's going on with you. So where is it that you want to progress? The full moon, which is also a supermoon, is the first of two full moons in Libra, your 6th house of health, wellness, work. It's great for having a big declutter. If you can declutter around this full moon, it would be great. Not necessarily throwing everything away right away. Keep a maybe pile, because with Mercury in retrograde, you might not be making the best decisions completely on what it is that you want to give up. So don't just suddenly hoist everything out. It's great for sorting, beginning the process, because we have a fellow full moon in Libra in April, which is a better time to be certain of what it is that you want to get rid of. In your sector of work, it can mean that work issues come to a head. It'll heighten your awareness, because it is a supermoon. It's intense, okay? It'll heighten your awareness. And what's also about this full moon is your health, Taurus. So a lot of people, Taurus affects the throat. A lot of people that I know, including myself, are having really bad throat pains. That's Uranus shifting into your sign. With that full moon, you may come down with a cold or something if you're not looking after yourself properly. So do indulge in self-care. It's a beautiful full moon to have a bath, have a ritual, really start taking care of yourself. And really looking after numero uno, okay? Mars in your sign is also on the 20th going to trine Pluto in your 9th house. So if you want to plan a travel vacation, get thinking. Beautiful energy to do that. A big plan could be underway. If you're dealing with university stuff, there could be some really good news there, Taurus. Okay, so something to do with university could come up, like college. Those type of plans could really get underway. Or you may find you've done particularly well in an assignment. This is also the house of theology, philosophy. So, you know, getting involved in a cause is a big yes for Taurus people. Okay, having a cause, having a purpose. You're going to know what you want. And to be honest, with that super moon, with the Mars energy, I don't think you're going to care who gets pissed off. I can think of one Taurus politician that lives locally where we are, and he really overstepped the mark. But because he really believes in what he's saying, I think. I don't know. So just be mindful of that. You're not going to care who gets pissed off, so there's no point telling you what to do. You're going to be like, I know what I need. I know what it is. I'm just going to go for it. And you will. Yes, you're going to be an emperor. You have your own rules. You've got new rules. You're sticking to your guns. You've got an idea. You're going to go forward with it. You're going to be the boss. You are the boss, Taurus. Nobody is going to be standing in your way. You could be dealing with an Aries person that is significant, or there could be some sort of relationship issue with the father. That doesn't have to be a bad thing. But what it's saying, Taurus, is that when it comes to rules, you have a fair few ideas on what it is that you need. The Magician, the Five of Pentacles, and Strength. Virgo, Gemini, and Leo energy also graces the cards. You are the manifester of your own destiny, but if you are too aggressive with people, you will be out in the cold. Just an FYI. The Strength card is all about catching more flies with honey than with vinegar, okay? The Emperor can be domineering. He's not for everybody. Not everybody finds him the easiest card to embrace, but he is steely. He's ruling with an iron fist. The Magician is all about making things happen and using the energy. Mercury is still retrograde though, so you may come across, the more rebellious, the more brash you are, the more you may not get your point across. As I say, with the full moon in Libra, if you need to make a dramatic point in work, leave it until the next full moon. Use this full moon to try and gather information. You could be dealing with an Aries or a Leo in your life, fire signs in general, because yes, there is some sort of there's successful completion with the World card. You are on a roll, but as I say, the only thing is that for some of you, in branching off on your own, because many of you are going to want to be self-employed, particularly if you've Leo in your chart, because I have a sense a lot of you probably do with this. Mars does rule the Emperor, so this is Mars in your sign. You're aggressively going after what you want. And even though Mercury is in retrograde and you're coming across these blockages, because that's what this is. Mercury retrograde is temporarily lulling your financial competence. It's not easy to have Uranus go into Taurus because for the world, finances, everything's up in the air at the minute. That's what this is. Literally, it's up in the air. You need to stay grounded. Practice meditations that ground you, even if you feel very driven and aggressive. Jupiter is going to go retrograde. It's going to be retrograding in your sector of other people's money. So don't be careless. I know you have this energy and you have this drive and you want to have your voice heard and you don't care who it ticks off, but you do have to pull back a little bit when it comes to going all gung-ho on things, because you may lose out on support where you need it, particularly if it's financial. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Okay. Similarly, somebody might bite your hand when you're feeding them, and you might decide that that is that. You're tired of it. You're done with it. You're tired of somebody giving you scraps in some relationship. You're like, I text you first. I do everything first, and you're tired of it. And if it's romantic, there is possibly a proposal coming in on the end of something not working out. Do you see how there is a closure of one cycle moving on to the next? Some Taurus may get engaged. I would advise it to be toward the end of the month. Taurus, you'll feel a lot more comfortable when Venus moves into Pisces and when Mercury is direct. You'll feel more solid. Yes, if you can delay a romantic proposal or commitment temporarily, that would be great. But with the Knight of Cups and the Hanged Man, it could be romance that you've waited for a very long time pops up. The thing about the World is that you're really determined to make a footprint, or a hoof print, I suppose, if you're a bull. Some kind of print in the ground. You're really determined to, especially if it's in the law, justice, or if it's to do with a Libra. And underneath, Wheel of Fortune. These are really heavy hitting cards, but I would expect nothing less for the Taurus person. So the World and the Knight of Cups to me is saying a successful love affair that could possibly later lead to marriage for many Taurus people. It could be with a fellow fixed sign. Uranus is a game changer for the fixed signs Scorpio, other Taurus, Leo, or Aquarius. I'm drawn towards saying Leo and Scorpio are standing out very, very strongly, Taurus. But there may be some sort of delay. Okay? The thing about Mercury is that it does delay things. We know that. It is basic astrology 101. People that don't know they have a moon sign probably know about Mercury retrograde. And that's not astrology shaming. It's just that it comes up so much in memes and things now. Everyone kind of knows that when a technology disasters happen, it's Mercury retrograde. And that's a great thing. That's really good. But for you guys, it sort of seems to be delaying some aspect of romance for you, funnily enough. And I think it could be very likely to do with if you're dealing with a Scorpio in general. Because for Scorpio people, Mercury retrograde's happening in their romantic sector. So they might be delaying making things official with you. Even if it's a partnership in business, they might be very hard to get hold of at the minute. Wait till it passes, because I sense that with justice, a lot of things in your life are going to even out. You're going to be wanting to go boom, straightforward. But with Jupiter going retrograde next month, do consider where being thoughtful and methodical in your plan making has worked for you before. You could be doing one line of life. You know, you could be studying or you could be working, and this opportunity on the side pops up, because the Magician will manifest things that you want. The problem is if you don't have the balance of justice, you lose out on something and you do bite the hand that feeds you. Whatever source has been working for you, don't neglect it just because another opportunity comes along. You're better at balancing than you think. Even though you're not Libra, a lot of Taurus probably have Libra in their life, and they, you know, with Libra, Taurus, you're both Venus rule signs, but you can be very stubborn and Libras can be very indecisive, which could cause delays. Learn from the weighing up of the scales and do put a bit of a pause on any major decisions. The Wheel of Fortune is spinning in your favor, and the fixed signs are enhanced, particularly with Uranus. The World also rules Saturn. Now Saturn is in Capricorn, and that is of course going to aspect well with Mars being in your sign. So when Mars in astrology is conjunct your sun, you get this confidence that is noticeable the second you walk in a room. Saturn, on the other hand, is all about being humble and learning about things. So Saturn is grounding you. It is in your sector of travel, which is ironic because we have the World. Well, it's more appropriate than ironic. The thing about the World card is that you have to think bigger, but you have to see the bigger picture. You know, you can't just charge forward when you don't know what's in front of you. You can't charge forward in a fog. And for the, you know, we're going up until the 20th of March when the sun shifts sign, there's that supermoon. Right up until then, we have the Piscean fog. And it's not easy for you. It's caused delays. Knight of Cups, Pisces, Hanged Man, delays. But it is to do with seeing things from a very different perspective. You're going to be successful in an endeavor that is very, very, very important. For a lot of you, it's global. For a lot of you, it's global justice. For a lot of you, it's environmentalism. And for a lot of you, it's kind of this anarchy against established systems with the Emperor. You could be the rebel against corporate injustices for many people. Taurus, you are the revolutionary. For the next 7 years, that is your role. And you might not like that, but you will discover where it is that it matters for you, even if you don't feel it right now. What this is asking you to do is to pause and reflect of what your true values are. If you're looking for a life purpose, you're very likely to find it in the lead up to your birthday season or in your birthday season. Rest until then. Knight of Cups, the Hangman. The love that you've been waiting for is on its way for many of you, especially if it's felt like a negative cycle of these control freaks, of these manipulators, because that's what the Emperor and the Magician and the Five of Pentacles can be. Strength can be codependency, and then the world cycle's done. You're not doing that anymore. Uranus in your 12th house could have given you a lot of energy vampires that you had to learn from before you became this justice character. It's very, very, very powerful. If you want to know what your life purpose is, meditate, reflect. Chances are there's a cause, there's something deeper, there's something greater, and it's going to benefit you. It probably is going to benefit you financially, but I don't think when it arises, that's what's going to be the driving force. If it's romantic, you're tired of codependent relationships where you're giving all the time. That's the thing about strength. Sometimes one person is the stronger of the two, and oftentimes in relationships it's the Taurus that is sort of moving things along, and you're this slow and steady undeniable force, and weak people can really cling to that because they think, oh, they can be stable enough for both of us. That's not balanced. Justice comes in when things aren't balanced. If you're dating somebody new, wait a while until things get more official, because chances are the Piscean fog can skew your perceptions. Everyone is saying it can make you more naive. I think it can make you more fearful and a little bit more suspicious. I know it's not Scorpio Mercury retrograde. We had that. We had Venus retrograde in Scorpio. That was awful. That's not what this is. But how can you have an idea of what's in the fog if you can't actually see anything? You know, what's the preconceived notion? The only person that you're certain of in that fog is you. You know? I said this in one of the readings. You can drive down the same road over and over and over, but you can't drive at the same speed you usually do if it's foggy, because you don't really know where you are. That's what the Pisces season's been a little bit like. Wait it out. There's a different side of the story you have to see. And the Libra full moon, as I say, if you can delay a decision on the Libra full moon until next month, you're going to be in a much better position. But it's powerful. It's great cards, actually. Leap of faith. So you need to have faith in this process, Taurus. Start putting your heart's true desire into action. As I say, Mercury is retrograding, and I know that sounds like it's been drummed into your head a million times. But just because it's in retrograde doesn't mean you can't do anything. The action, oftentimes, the first step in action is the idea. So just because this says leap of faith doesn't mean you leap right into calling everybody, calling journalists, calling media when you have an idea, or drumming up all these people, or just quitting your job. That's not what this is. The first step is the thought, and then the next step is the plan. You can do that. You don't have to do it all at once. So I love you guys. I'll see you in the April readings. The Vimeo extended love readings are still up for individual signs, and I will see you guys in April as we go into Taurus season. Love you guys. Bye.